Hey everybody, are you ready for class today? Today we are going to make edible cookie dough. So you should all want to learn how to make this. While we're waiting for people to come into the classroom, I am going to go ahead and wash my hands. So I can turn this a little bit this way. Gonna wash my hands like I'm a doctor about to take out somebody's tonsils. Okay, let's see who all's with us right now. Hey Suzanne, hey Robin and Ellie and Anna and Lynn. Hello to all of you. Hey Alice. Hey Sissy. Okay, so I have a question for you. If you have ever eaten cookie dough before it got baked into a cookie, hit the like or the love, whatever's at the bottom of the screen. I want to know how many people, hey James, I want to know how many people have actually eaten cookie dough before. Let me see you. Oh yeah, I see them coming now. Aha, okay. So I have a lot of brave people in the classroom right now. That's very true. There's different levels of bravery. Like there's the kind of brave, like I would stick my hand into a tiger cage kind of brave. That's not me. And there's the kind of brave like, I'll eat that cookie dough. And every time somebody sees me eating cookie dough, they tell me, my mama said you could die from eating cookie dough. And what I say about that is we can die from a lot of things. And of all the ways I can think of to leave this earth, death by cookie dough is just about the most delicious way I could think of to leave this earth. But I don't want anybody dying. The reason why people say you could get possibly sick from eating cookie dough is because the eggs that are involved in the cookie dough are raw. And, there are bodybuilders and other people that will crack eggs, put them in a jar, and drink them. Everybody doesn't feel the same way about it, but there is a possibility that you could get sick from a raw egg. It has been known to happen before, and because raw eggs are in cookie dough, people say you should not eat cookie dough. But guess what? People love cookie dough. Sometimes they love cookie dough more than they love the baked cookie. So now we've got a problem we have to solve. The problem is, can we make a delicious, yummy tasting cookie dough without any eggs? And the answer to that question is absolutely you can. In fact, remember in a different class we talked about what eggs do for your dough. It kind of acts as a binder. Eggs can be a little bit sticky, and it kind of makes it where you can roll it up and form it into a ball and all that kind of thing. But if you make cookies, I make lots of recipes of cookies that don't even call for eggs. We call those shortbread because it's not as gummy as if you had eggs in it. And I happen to like shortbread too. So today's recipe, if you have printed it out, I want to show you what we're going to do. But before we get started, let me show you something on my flour bag. Okay, here's a new bag of flour. And right here, I guess it's coming up backwards because of my camera, but it says, flour is raw. Please cook fully before enjoying. Now, I've been baking cookies for a lot of years, and this sign just recently cropped up on the flour bag. And the reason that it comes up on the flour bag now is because of the milling process when they are taking flour from wheat down to becoming this nice white powdery snow looking ingredient in our cookies. There could be the possibility of some bacteria in the milling process. So if you're not on the Bravery bandwagon, here is what I did. I just took 2 cups of flour, which is what this recipe calls for, and I stretched it all out on a pan. See my cookie pan? I just stretched it out so it had lots of surface area, and I put it in the oven for 5 minutes. And by heating my oven up to about 300 degrees or 350, what did I do it on? Yeah, I had it on about 350 for 5 minutes. The heat will, if there accidentally happened to be some bacteria in this flour, it would not survive the heat. So you can do that, and I've already done that. So go ahead and put 2 cups of flour on a pan, stick it in the oven for 5 minutes, and then you're good to go with us for the rest of this recipe. So the first thing we're gonna do is put 2 sticks of soft butter. Now, here's how I like to show people what soft looks like. I can bend a stick of butter without breaking it. That's how you know that you've got good soft butter. Now, sometimes in the summer, your butter can get too soft. It can get to where it's kind of leaking like oil or something, but I've got my 2 sticks of butter in there. And now I need my glasses, obviously. 3/4 cup of brown sugar. Now, I don't have my 3/4 cup measurer, so I'm going to get my brown sugar. Do you remember why I have a piece of bread in my brown sugar? Because brown sugar is made with molasses, and molasses can get it can make your brown sugar hard like a brick. And if you've got hard brown sugar, stick a slice of bread in there. I've got a little half slice of bread. All right, 1/4, 2/4, 3/4. So I've got brown sugar. My bread going back in my sugar canister. And that's going to keep it nice and soft. The next thing is I need the same amount of white sugar. 1, 2, 3. 3/4 of a cup of white sugar. A 1/2 teaspoon of salt. So I've got my cookie nip measuring spoon, and here is my 1/2 teaspoon on the back. You know what salt does for it? Kind of cuts down on the sweetness, but it also acts as a preservative, so something might not spoil for you. And then 2 teaspoons of cookie nip. Now, this is the golden elixir right here. If you don't have any cookie nip, a lot of our recipes that we are making are made with cookie nip. You can order you some at cookienip.com. Or if you live close enough to a cake store, but while everybody's having to stay inside, it's probably easiest just to order it online. There's a lot of places that carry it, but Cookie Nip is sponsoring all of these videos. So you'll want to get some if you don't have any. 1 teaspoon. Gosh, I smell that buttery caramel. Ooh, that is yummy. And 3 tablespoons of milk. Now, it's really hard to pour from something this heavy into something that small. So I'm going to get a glass and just pour a little milk in there because this will make it easier for me to measure. 1, 2, 3. Now, I am going to turn on my mixer. And get all of that completely stirred up. Okay, you see how nice and smooth that is? Now, because I already measured my 2 cups before I ever put it on this pan, I'm just going to take my 2 cups of flour and I'm going to empty it. In here. Looking kind of crumbly. I'm gonna stop and scrape down my bowl a little bit so everything will get equally distributed in here. Now, this is what you call your base. This is the base of your dough. Now, I like chocolate chips in mine. Let me tell you the difference between chocolate chips. Sometimes people think, gosh, this is a lot of sugar, really kind of sweet. You want semi-sweet because it doesn't then double the sweetness of your cookie doughs, your cookie dough. Oh my goodness, that's good. That is good with absolutely nothing else in it. But I'm a fan of chocolate chips. So for this, I'm using semi-sweet. But some people want it to taste like somebody chopped up a chocolate bar. And that's when you would use milk chocolate chips. But these chocolate chips, I'm gonna put a cup of chocolate chips in there and then turn it on and get those distributed. And now there's several ideas for you on your recipe page. It tells you that you can add some mix-ins. And remember, you know, most of our recipes, we've been talking about what can you use if you don't have one of these ingredients we need. And in this case, it is, tell me what you like in your cookies. I'll tell you something that would be good in there would be a little bit of cinnamon. That would be yummy. But I think for me, because I like the flavors of nuts, and nobody in my family is allergic, I have a bag here of chopped toasted pecans. And I just am gonna put some chopped toasted pecans in my cookie dough along with that. But I could use almonds, I could use walnuts, I could chop up some Oreos if I wanted to. I could put colorful sprinkles. I could chop up a candy bar or Butterfingers or whatever. So now what we've got is this, and we can do several things with it. Some people like to make it up in little balls and sit it sit it on a pan like this and sit it in the freezer so that you can just take out a ball and eat it if you like. Some people like to roll it into a log, and some people like to put it in a little dish and serve it as if they are having a bowl of ice cream. If anybody is making it right with me, taste that. That is about the best stinking thing I have ever tasted. You know, sometimes now, schools will have a fundraiser that's just cookie dough, and people just eat cookie dough. That's all they want. They just get the tub and just eat it right out of the tub. So chances are that does not have any eggs involved in it. I would eat it even if it did have eggs involved in it, but you know I'm brave, so you got that. Okay, let's see. Okay, Dolly is asking about my KitchenAid. Dolly, my KitchenAid stays packed up for when I travel to do a class. I take my KitchenAid with me. I tried out a Bosch mixer, and I really like it. A Bosch mixer is this is a straight up, has a race car engine in it. It is a big engine in this Bosch. I love it. But I say that not everybody needs a Bosch. If you don't turn on your mixer but at Easter and Christmas, you don't need a Bosch mixer. But if you make as many cookies as I make, I just find that it works beautifully for me. So my KitchenAid, which is a fabulous mixer, which I have used for many, many years, is all packed up because I do my classes in other people's kitchens. So when I go, if they have a KitchenAid mixer, I don't have to get it out. But if they don't have one, I have it right there in my car, so that, because you could make this cookie dough very easily you could make this with a hand mixer. You could also mix this by hand if you didn't have anything. But this is a much softer dough than our decorated cookies are. So therefore, look at these yummy things. Now that I've got a whole pan full I'll just stick this in the refrigerator, and when they get nice and cold, I'll just put them in a Ziploc bag. And you can stick them in the freezer, or you can keep them in the refrigerator. You could pile up a few and serve it with a spoon. But here you have a most delicious edible cookie dough. And mine happens to have chocolate chips and toasted pecans in it. I can't wait to see what you are going to do with your cookies. I love seeing the things that y'all send to me that show me what your ideas for a yummy cookie. I can tell if someone is a girl and about 6, she was not going to make some cookies without some sprinkles. They love them some sprinkles, and I think that makes your cookie dough look very happy. So if anybody has a question, cookie dough, Tina, I agree with you. Cookie dough is better than the cookies. Tina, aren't you a nurse? And if you are a nurse, then you've probably seen people die. And I want to know if you've ever seen somebody die from eating cookie dough. If any nurses are out there, if you have actually seen a death from cookie dough, holler. Because I don't want anybody dying, but I'll tell you, I'm not scared of eating that cookie dough. It is some good stuff. Good question, Erica. These will bake. And you know what? What this recipe is actually missing is baking soda, which is your leavening agent. If you wanted to bake these, I would probably go ahead and add the baking soda. It's not something that is going to alter the taste significantly, but it will give you a little more substance to your cookies. And also, they will be very crumbly and flaky because of the absence of the eggs. The eggs are what is going to kind of makes it hold together. But if you've ever eaten a shortbread cookie and it feels like it's dissolving in your mouth, that's what these would be. You know, there's now whole companies, like you can go to a mall where you used to could stop in and get cookies, and now you just get a cup of cookie dough. And it's all edible. It's all had heat-treated flour. There's no eggs involved in it, so it's perfectly safe, which is what this is. And this makes me think I ought to be walking around a mall eating some cookie dough and shopping, but I'm not, because we are still supposed to stay inside except for when you need something for an emergency, and cookie dough is not an emergency. I mean, to me, it seems like it ought to be, but it's not. So these are things that you probably have in your house anyway, and you can make yourself some cookie dough and have your family enjoy it with you. That is true. Thank you, Carol, for saying that. Amazon does carry Cookie Nip. So you're never with the inability to get some Cookie Nip. But I'm going to tell you, this is so yummy because of that Cookie Nip that's in it. It just gives it more buttery, more vanilla, more salted, that little bit of salted caramel that we like in our flavors of our cakes and cookies so much. So you can get it at cookienip.com, but you can also get it at Amazon, and you can get it from thecookieschool.com. The recipe, Deanna, is right here on our Facebook page, on the Cookie School Facebook page. That would be good. Oh, I love that idea, Tina. You could put some of these in an ice cream cone with chocolate sauce and whipped cream. Get behind me, Satan. Don't even be giving me new ideas, Tina. Good gracious, that sounds amazing. I mean, this is as good as ice cream, for sure. And if you ever have had cookie dough ice cream, then that tastes exactly like the kind that is in your cookie dough ice cream. Well, I hope you will make yourself some edible cookie dough. That is wonderful and safe to eat. You don't even have to be brave to eat this. And I hope, oh, thank you, Miss Sonia. But I hope that you will do your homework and post the pictures on the Cookie School page. And please share this video. If you know a friend who might be lonesome and might want to make some cookie dough, you can share it and it'll come up on their page as well. So be sure and invite a friend to class. Ellie, bless your sweetheart. I know that you would love to have a Petit Four class during this quarantine. Petit Fours are a little more complex than what we're doing in class right here, but as soon as we are able, I'll have private school for you, Ellie, and you can have your Petit Four class, because I know you love those things. But that's a little more complex than we can do in these little short live videos. I'm trying to do kids stuff in here, stuff that kids will be able to get in the kitchen and help do. So thank you for joining us. Please invite a friend from next time and share the video. Talk to you soon. Bye-bye.